New Deep of the Night mode has finally dropped. For people who haven't played Nightreign or have just lived under a rock, it's pretty much a ranked mode for Nightreign where you will play infinitely and you will rank up for each time you complete the run, and you get harder and harder runs. So with that comes new relics, and I'll be talking about some of the most potent ones that I have found and ones that I see a lot of potential in. We have new slots for the relics, and for people who don't know, you can only slot these with the new Deep of the Night relics. So, for example, you get new stat increases that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. Like, for example, you can get Fire Attack Up +4, which is a 10% increase to your fire damage. And we can actually confirm this if we're looking at the spreadsheet, which I have linked in the description, by the way, right? Fire Attack Up, and then we're going to go to the Deep of the Night section, right? No, so this is actually a 12% increase. This is actually even stronger than I thought. And of course, this does stack. So what does this all mean, right? The first relic that I found got a major buff with this update is partial damage restoration. So for people who don't know, this is just like the Millennia Great Ruin relic, or the Bloodborne mechanic where you can hit people and then you get your health back. What this does in Nightreign now is it received a +1 and +2 version. This is significant because it works the same as the original, but increases health gain per hit by 25% with the +1 and then 35% with the +2. So not only does this make you heal more damage whenever you get hit, but there is another added benefit, and it's that the stack. So the +1 stacks with the +2, however, neither of them stack with the +0. So what that means is if you have a standard partial HP restoration slot, it will not stack with the +1 or +2 version. So say if you had a +1 as well as a +0, you will only be getting the benefit from the +1. However, if you have a +1 and +2, you will be receiving a coagulation, a coalescence, might I add, of the two effects. So this is significant because the way that Nightreign will do math pretty much, really boring math speech, but the way that it works is that it's like multiplicative, meaning that if you have two things that increase your damage by, let's say, 13%, and you have 3 stacks, it won't be 33%, but it'll be actually 44.5% increase, and that's because it's 1.13 cubed, right? So this is important. Math jargon aside, I know you had to like pull from your algebra that you took like 18 years ago when the dinosaurs were roaming. I understand, because Marlowe is actually a descendant from the dinosaurs. I would know because he plays the Guardian. So this is important because if you have 2 slots that have partial HP restoration +2, because they're both 35%, if you square that, you're actually getting 82% of your health back when you attack. This is like insane for survivability, and I would love to showcase this, but unfortunately I don't have like 2 versions yet. I mean, the game just dropped. Like I just woke up like I was not a grinder. I did not play into the wee hours of the night, unfortunately, but I can show you the +2 version and how that looks compared to the +0. So if we're looking at this with Wilder and then we get hit, right? Twice. I got back all my health. We are receiving all of our health back. Now, if we were to have just the regular post damage healing, now as you can see, I have the regular slot on. And then if I get hit, oh, okay. Now he wants to do a different freaking test to mess up the freaking. We needed a control group. Right? We did not heal back all of our health. There's still a tiny sliver, there's a tiny parrot foot of health that we did not get back from that. Like, it is extremely helpful to have the +2, the +1 versions on, because it will just increase your survivability that much. This perfectly leads into the next relic that I found to be very helpful, and it is with Raider. So hitting with this character skill will reduce the enemy's attack power. Now, by how much, you might ask, right? If we pull up the spreadsheet again, which, you know, by the way, this is linked in the description. I don't gatekeep information. Some of the large YouTubers might, but I do not. That's why you should subscribe to me and Marlo, because we are putting our hardest work into these videos. Right, Marlo? Right. Okay, so boom. This is decreasing the enemy damage dealt by 87%. As we can see, that is right here, right? That's after you hit them with the skill. This will not stack. However, it's important to note that it's not reducing it by 87%. They're just doing 87% of the maximum damage they would normally be doing. So like, imagine if like you were supposed to get hit with like 100% of a punch, you get hit with like 87% of the punch. That's the concept that's going on here. But this is important because this will combo very well with my Raider bros. You know, we love to spam initial standard attack, right? It combos very well with his taking hits with his character skill, improves his attack power, as well as, you know, the regular taking hits improves attack power. It combos well with partial HP restoration. I realized I wasn't showcasing any of this as I was speaking, but yeah, you know, you get the point, right? It has a lot of synergy, and you should definitely consider using it because it will help your survivability as well as your whole team's survivability. Because when you're fighting those red enemies, like that freaking red Morai Knight, I will never forget. I walked into the basement, and I swear to you, I thought a bomb dropped down in there because there was actually 8 different red bodies, and they were all looking towards me as the Red Knight was approaching me. Like, bro, I didn't do it. Why are you mad at me? It will hopefully help with your Morai encounters or any other red encounter. I fought a red Wolf of Radagon. He was red squared, and I got a magic glintstone shard like straight through my head like it was a bullet. Yeah, that shit actually just cooked me. 100% have this on. It helps so much. Which, by the way, I am making an animation for Nightreign, and it is on the Red Knight Morai that we all hate. Also dropping a music video for my song I made about the Guardian and Nightreign. It's called Flock. 100% check it out right after this video. So, the next important relic slot I want to talk about, the Night Invader relic. A lot of people theorize that this would have been strong, and so far it seems like they were correct. So, for people who don't know, attack power increases for each Night Invader defeated. It's the same concept as like the jail meta, right? If you defeat jails, you'll get a 5% increase, except what's different with the Night Invader is if we go to the effect relics, right? It increases your damage across the board by 7% per invader. 7% is actually pretty solid amount. The only reason why this sucked before the hard mode update was that there was no real way to guarantee that you would even have those Night Invaders spawn to begin with. Plus also, if you were curious, this will not stack, so if you had 2 versions of these, you know, it's just not going to do that. But the reason why this is better now is because you are guaranteed, at least from the runs I've played about 8. Every single run has had at least 1. You are guaranteed a Night Invader, and what that means is that you can actually have up to 2 areas that have Night Invaders, and some places have multiple Night Invaders. You know, you can have up to like, I believe you can have like 3 Night Invaders in one spawn location if like you're lucky enough. So being that you have a guaranteed at least 1 Night Invader, you can have up to a like 7% increase to your damage. But if you have multiple Night Invaders, now this can go up to 7 into 14 into 21%. And because this is multiplicative, this is actually going to be 7. Let's say you fight 3 Night Invaders, right? So we're gonna do 7 cubed, and you can follow along with me at home because you have a phone. Don't tell me to put this on the screen because I actually can't. That will total to a 22% damage increase. That is like you hitting up 4 different jails to hit that same effect. And in my opinion, this will be stronger for the Deep of the Night mode because of the fact that you can't guarantee if you're gonna get a Shifting Earth or not if you're playing this mode, right? And if you happen to get a Shifting Earth, the spawns for the jails will dramatically decrease. You'll usually get like 4 jails if you get any of the shifting earths besides Noclateo. But again, just because you can't guarantee what you'll get, something you can guarantee is the fact that you will get a Night Invader, at least one of them. And if you're lucky, you'll get 2. That is a 14% increase to your damage. You just hit those 2 spots up and you don't have to spend too much time on the jails. Because in my opinion, I don't know if anyone has had the displeasure of summoning a jail, having an old jail on top of that, and then the old jail having a freaking red guy there. But I had a red Noclateo Noct Soldier, and he pushed my shit in. He did. I felt so sorry for me and Marlo because he had to see the gameplay. It took me like a day and a half just to kill him in solos, and all that for 5% increase in damage when you can fight a Night Invader that has A, less health, or B, if they have more health like the Guardian, because he just has 1,000,000 health, he can be spammed and cheesed with Ashes of War, compared to, you know, the big red Goliath, Clifford the Red Dog. I didn't know how to fight him today. So that is definitely something to consider if you're looking to change up your playstyle. I definitely feel like a lot of these relics will be changing up a bunch, which I'll be making a lot of content on as well, so again, subscribe for that. But this is something to consider if you want to have a more reliable and guaranteed way to boost your damage. So something else that has flown under the radar in my opinion is physical attack power increases after using grease items +2. So if we do not know what this does, because a lot of people have pretty much never play tested with this except for me. Like, I actually tested this considerably and I posted this as a it was a members only video. So if you guys, you know, if you want to see more content like that, again, the membership is in the description. I would greatly appreciate it, although you don't have to. So if we're looking up greases, this will improve your physical damage by 20% for 30 seconds after using a grease. It doesn't stack with the base one, so again, this is just like the post healing relic, but if you have different levels, they will stack. So the +1 will stack with the +2. Some of the best relics in the game, like taking attacks, improved attack power, increases your attack, just so I don't speak out of pocket, but I believe it's only 10%. Yeah, you get a 15% boost to your damage for 10 seconds. So that is 10 seconds, right? You get 30 seconds of boosted damage, and it's by 20%, and this can stack with itself if it's like, if it's a +1 that's on a +2. So you can be looking at, what is the math on that? 20 plus 17, that's nearly a 40% damage increase for 30 seconds just by using a grease. And then why is Marlo like migrating through? So yeah, this is gonna stack really well with relics like Dark Knight of the Champion, boost attack power of added affinities. This will stack so well with this because boost attack power of added affinities is by 10%. You won't have like the physical being boosted through the roof compared to the elemental damage. Like, they'll both be doing pretty solid damage. So this is gonna like stack really well. And I theorize that this can actually be very strong if you have the right relics. So it's also gonna stack with Knight of the Lord, which I've made. I made a video on this. You can see it wherever there, right? So long as you have boost attack power added affinities, if you have fire attack up like +4, that's gonna increase it by 10%. And these are all multiplicative, all coalescing, right? So looking at this build I have here, I have grease items +0 as well as a +2 version. So this is 20%. We have 2 stacks of this, and also, by the way, if you're wondering what the red, the red aura is, apart from the fact that I have aura, this is me losing health constantly because of like a relic that I have on the same thing with the grease. So it's a little annoying, but we have 2 stacks of attack boost. So you can see that's right under the stamina bar. Attacking, we do 194 one-handed, and we're hitting for 199 two-handed. So we can see this is 174 plus 26, and then 169 plus 26 if we're two-handing. So now, if you had a like super optimized build for this, which I will try and show you in a moment, this build right here is improving our physical damage through the roof. So okay, now this is like the most optimized, kind of roughly sorta, right, version that you can expect from a build like this. And if we're actually looking again, the physical attack up +3 is increasing it by 8.5%. And then the +4 version will increase it by 10, which is a lot. So combining all these factors together, all of them together, as well as the improved affinity attack power, because again, this is improving our damage. So at +2, because that's what we have, increases fire, magic, holy lightning by 10%. So that's an additional thing we have to consider with the stack. When we factor all those things together into one giant mass of unemployment, 186 plus 23, we're hitting for 208 damage now, and then 214. We're actually almost hitting 200 damage with a gray greatsword. Isn't that crazy? So this is a thing that you could actually do, and like your teammates might not look at you crazy. They might not look at you crazy. And then finally, we have maximum stamina increase for each great enemy defeated at a great encampment. So this is a screenshot that I took from me gambling, and I accidentally sold it. So I'm sorry, I'm selling the clip, I'm sorry. But it says right here that it will be increasing your maximum stamina by 7.5% for each boss killed at a camp. And this will not stack. So you might be wondering what that means. If you've ever seen the camp sets on the map, like it has the POI look, meaning that it's like the tent, and like you go there, you might fight some like Lane-Dell people, or you might have to fight like a troll. Those are camps. And killing a boss there will just increase your stamina by 7.5%. So if you're playing someone who's really aggro, like, the Guardian, his stamina is going to be all the way across the screen, just like a Kingdom Hearts UI after you get to level 99. Or if you're playing Wilder, Raider, even Iron Eye, I think everyone is going to benefit from that. It's just something to have slotted on if you ever find it. And it's going to be one of those things where like it's going to be like another version of the post healing relic, or like another version of the jail relic, where it's just a nice thing to have slotted on, and it will help you have a whole different route and playstyle depending on if that is a build you want to lean more into. So in my opinion, the best way to capitalize off of these new relics, definitely look at the downsides, because they have a lot of downsides. Like taking damage causes rot buildup. That's not the worst in my opinion, especially because of the fact that it's paired with post healing. So you'll heal off the damage, and so long as you just don't get hit too much to where the rot actually procs, you should be fine. However, if you're looking at things like repeated evasions, lower damage negation, well, now you have to be conscientious about how many times you're rolling, because if you roll too much, you'll actually notice that your character, right? Like I have like an armor debuff. If a person were to hit me, I would actually take more damage. It's not good. And this also stacks. So, if you have this on, be very, very careful, because you can just get one shot and you might wonder why the game is so hard. I have 6 stacks of armor debuff. Anything is going to kill me. This guy will probably kill me in one hit. Look, watch this. Oh, I'm dead. Oh. See, look at that. At level 15. And I went to sleep and I got rotted all at the same time. At that point, just packing me up. Continuous health loss. I think this is just trash. If you have any relic that has this on, in my opinion, unless you have like a regen relic, just don't have it on. It's like you having that chest talisman constantly without the benefit of the freaking heightened item discovery. Nothing. You're just losing health just to lose health. You're just bleeding constantly because you think it's cool. Reduced dex and faith. If we're looking at reduced stats, it's actually not reducing it as much as you might think. So if you get that, for example, like if you have the reduced strength and intelligence, it's reducing it by 3. It stacks, so don't have too many of them. But if you have one on, like, it's not the worst thing. It's like it's just reducing that stat by 3. Like I can tell you, like it's not the worst in the world. It's really not the worst. Just don't stack them, right? Oh, say you like to play the Executor. Improved vigor and endurance, but then reduces your arcane. It will decrease your arcane by 13, but then it'll give you health by 5 and endurance by 6. So that can actually just influence your playstyle, and you can play in a bunch of different ways. Like there's one that I'm really excited to roll for, and it's the Guardian, because again, music video, check it out. With the Guardian, improved mind and faith and reduced health. So it improves his faith by 17. At level 15, he will actually have more faith than, I believe it's the Revenant. Don't exactly quote me on that, but I don't think I'm like necessarily like completely wrong. If it's not more than her, it's definitely like close to the Revenant. At level 15, he'll have a faith stat pretty comparable to her. So that will actually just change his whole playstyle completely, because he can be like a support paladin hybrid. So just make sure to hit up the spreadsheet, make your own builds, and if you have any questions, you can join the Discord, because we have a whole Relic subreddit. So subscribe if any of this information helped you, and join the Discord in the description. See you guys later. Love and light.